Picture this. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. You're just relaxing, sipping some tea, or some juice, or some hard liquor, whatever. You're playing some online chess, and to your utter amazement, you get paired up with none other than the great Magnus Carlsen himself. You immediately break out into a cold sweat. You're nervous, you're excited. This is your one shot, and you want to play the best game you possibly can. Magnus gets the white pieces, not exactly fair, but that's how life goes. He begins the game with e4, no a4 or h4 for you, but who knows, maybe you'll get a bond cloud. And at this point, you need to ask yourself a very important question. What opening are you going to play? And more importantly, what I want to know, how long do you think you can last before you have a resignable position? That is, before you are at least a piece down, or have a king that is imminently facing checkmate. Let me know in the comments. If you think you can last longer than 8 moves, then you will have done better than this 3,000 rated master by the name of Andy Woodward, who just recently got crushed before he could even make 9 moves. How is this possible? I mean, I know Magnus is strong, but when a much lower rated player like me can easily make it past move 10 against Stockfish, which is much stronger than Carlsen ever will be, it is baffling to see this player rated many hundreds of points higher than I crash and burn so hard in the opening. But it's what happened, and it's a fact that really makes one realize, to one's utter delight, that these elite players are not so different from you and I. From time to time, even their big brains will completely malfunction, they'll forget their openings and revert back to a totally amateur level of play, which you're going to see happen right now. Andy Woodward, so full of optimism and ready for a long, epic battle with the great Magnus Carlsen, responds to his e4 with c5, the great defense developed in the heart of Sicily. We have the steed to f3, the foot soldier to d6, and now Magnus, for reasons that are still under investigation, does not play the move that everyone has agreed is the strongest move here, that move being d4, but instead sets up the rocket launcher here with bishop to c4, eyeing the notoriously weak point in black's position on f7. Andrew now puts his horsey on f6, which is so obviously the best move that I'm not going to even say anything more about it. Knight to c3, defends e4, develops a piece. So far we have chess perfection, but that is all about to change. But not quite yet. We get n to c6, which is still fine, trying to be flexible, but curiously making zero progress towards castling on the king side. Carlsen now plays the thematic d4. We have our first kill here in the center, which is immediately avenged with knight takes d4, which brings us to the moment of truth. The moment where the mind of Andy Woodward ceases to perform at the level he has grown accustomed to, and like a beginner who has just begun to learn his openings, plays g6. But wait a minute, I hear you say, isn't this just the great Sicilian dragon variation, a well-respected opening enjoyed by amateurs and world champions alike for many years? Well, yes, but we have a little problem with our move order here. In the main line, g6 and bishop to g7 are usually played before putting the knight on c6. And you, like the malfunctioning Andy Woodward, are about to see why. The reason begins with the knight capturing on c6, which opens the queen's eyes towards black's side of the board. This is significant. We have now b takes c6, and see if you can find white's best move here in 3, 2, 1. Here it comes, e5. Attacking that animal on f6, not a move that you typically want white to be able to get away with in this opening so soon. And before I show you how Andy responded, let me just go ahead and show you what black's best move is in this position, which is probably not what you expected, and that move is knight to g4. After which, a little stockfish on stockfish action will yield the following variation. E takes d6, queen takes d6, f3, queen takes d1, knight takes d1, knight to e5, bishop to b3. After which, white is a bit better, I suppose mainly due to black's split pawn structure over here on the queen side, but it's still a game. Black has things to do. The future is still more or less open, but this is not what happened in the game. Oh no. What Andy decided to play in this position is a move that you may have looked at and thought, why not? Why not just capture on e5 with the pawn, like so? Well, my dear 1200 rated players, you will see the reason, which becomes painfully obvious after Magnus Carlsen's swift and merciless response, bishop takes f7 check, which caused poor Andy Woodward to immediately resign and seriously question his ability to play a game that he thought he had mastered. The black king is in check, and unfortunately, the generally accepted rules of the game state that the king must move out of check. If the game is to continue, that is. Only way to remove the king from check is, of course, to capture the intruder on f7 with king takes f7, and here I think that most of my viewers can find white's best move. If you can't, then welcome to chess. It's a fascinating game. White's best course of action here is, of course, to dispatch the lady on d8, queen takes d8, and white will win with an overwhelming material advantage. And so ended the unfortunate story of Andy Woodward as he spoiled his one golden opportunity to play against the great Magnus Carlsen, depriving himself of a game he could be proud of for many years to come, leaving him with nothing to show his grandchildren. Actually, I'm just kidding. He's a 3,000 rated player and he gets to play against Magnus all the time. He has even beaten Magnus on rare occasions. So, that's about all for now. It's short and sweet today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like and or subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more of my videos, and I will see you soon.